Here we are again, and let's have some fun. This is Driving Inspector Success number 8. All right. I wrote a couple of notes. So many things are happening out there in the marketplace right now. And one of the things that I don't think that people truly understand is how important your numbers are. On the last call, last video, I put out there a little bit about some of the KPIs or key performance indicators that you need to know for your client coordinators. And I wrote those down. And I have a whole set of sheets here that we are planning on going over this big time at Mission 25. In fact, I just got through talking with Krista, and Jonathan doesn't know it yet, but him, me, and Krista are going to sit down and we're going to record a lot of information on your key performance indicators and how you do that. And then I'm actually also going to probably talk about how we hold a diamond meeting once a week. And at that diamond meeting, what we do is we have our office manager and our assistant general manager, plus Jonathan as our general manager, plus our marketing people, all sitting there going through the numbers and making sure that we hit the numbers. So here's one of the things that I think is very important. And we talked about the book, The Email. That book literally changed my life and literally changed the whole way that I think about everything. I talk about that greatly in my podcast, which is homeinspectormarketingpodcast.com, homeinspectormarketingpodcast.com. Go out there and get signed up for the podcast. And we usually post something once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks out there so that you can hear some things. But right now, because I'm getting ready for our big show in March 10th, 11th, and 12th, I am actually doing a daily Driving Inspector Success Facebook Live and or video. We're going to put it out at our YouTube channel. We're going to put it out at some other places as well so that we can go through some of those pieces. Now, I believe that you have what you call the business bullseye. I created the business bullseye. And if you think about it, it's just a circle and you cut it in half. And then what you do is you put the 4 different parts of your business inside of that. The first part up here is admin, and then underneath that is marketing, and then underneath that is either phones or sales, depending on what kind of business you have. For home inspectors, it's really your phones because that's where you schedule the inspections and everything. And then above that, of course, is your service, all right? And so I'll talk more about that at some point because it's so important, making sure that you know how to really amp up your business and using the business bullseye to do that. And then in the middle, the reason I call it a bullseye is in the middle, write the word manager, because right now that's who you are. You're the manager of your business. Now, I talk with so many inspectors, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. You don't really know whether you're succeeding or not succeeding unless you have something you're measuring it by. You know, in school, they say, oh, we're not going to count the score because we just want them to have fun. Well, in business, you're not in business just to have fun. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun. You know, it's one of my high five, right? High five being family, faith, financial, fitness, and fun. So if you do your business right, then hopefully your business is fun. I have to tell you, I get such a kick out of being here every single day and being able to share with people and work through some of these parts. Now, I'm not telling you that there aren't some days that I just want to, let me be blunt here for a second, put a fist through the wall, okay? And when I was younger, I had anger issues. I don't have those anymore. Yeah, if you believe that, I have land in, oceanside property in Arizona, as they like to say. But here's the thing is, I love sitting down and looking at the numbers and going, man, those numbers are working. And right now, I have to tell you, several numbers that I track every single day are crushing it. And I am just looking forward to 2025, watching how we're putting some things into place. And again, in 2024, had our best year ever. And in 2025, I think we're going to have even a better year for all of that. But part of it is because we're taking a look at our key performance indicators and making sure we're doing that. So let's talk about key performance indicators in your marketing part of your business. I really think the whole marketing part is the most important part of the whole business bullseye. And I want to make sure that you're seeing that, understand that, and put that into place. Now, before I get into those, I want you to understand that there's two, two, two types of KPIs, right? There is what I call lead KPIs. Those are the KPIs you have complete 100% control over to some degree. And then there are the lag KPIs. And the lag KPIs are the ones that tell you what your results were from in everything else that you did, mostly from the results from the lead KPIs. And so there's some big parts with all of that. So some of the lead KPIs, for instance, are, how many offices are you walking in and out of daily or weekly? Okay. And one of the things that I told you in the past is that the key basic formula here is 10 offices per week per inspector. 10 offices per week per inspector. Now, you've got to go through that and do it right. You can't just walk in and go, hey guys, hi, and turn around and leave. You can't even go in and go, hey, I'd like to set up a brochure and set up the brochure and leave. I mean, that'll help a little bit, but it will not get the job done. There's several things you have to do. That's what we teach inside the Big Bang Marketing. We're going to be teaching the Big Bang Marketing again at Mission 25, which, by the way, if you're not signed up for Mission 25 yet, go out to homeinspectormission.com, homeinspectormission.com. Get you and your spouse, or you and your son, daughter, or you and your business partner signed up, and be there. I absolutely guarantee it. And you're going to have the most amazing experience ever in what you can do in your business. So we need to make sure that we're visiting at least 10 offices per week per inspector that we have. So if you have 3 inspectors, well, that means you need to be visiting at least 30 offices per week. Now, here's a secret. When you're in the winter, or you're in a recession, or maybe because of the way you have so much competition or something, a few areas that we coach in, the competition is very hard. You want to make sure that you're visiting 15 or 20 offices per week per inspector. Now, just to give you an idea of one of the reasons that we're the size that we are, every time we added on inspectors, we increased our marketing. And as we increased our marketing, our business increased, and then we'd add on more inspectors. I call that kind of like the life cycle, right? It's the growth cycle of our business and everything. And I'm going to tell you, Krista, my oldest, who oversees and has really worked hard on fixing the marketing since she has been back at TexInspect, now has over 500 offices that we can visit. Now, do we visit all of them every single week? No, of course not. Okay. But we visit well over 100 of them every single week, dropping off brochures, candy, and flyers, and all kinds of things. So the next part is, once you have the Big Bang Marketing set up, and once you have the pieces set up for the visits and everything, how many times are you asking to schedule presentations? See, again, this is the lead KPI. You can measure how many times you walked in and out of an office. Did you ask for a presentation at that office? Great. And then how many presentations did you schedule? And then how many presentations did you perform? All right. So at each one of those, you really have control. I used to know some salespeople, Zig Ziglar and several famous salespeople, said, I didn't go home until I had at least one sale. I did not go home until I had at least one sale. Some of them talk about and brag about, and I'm not sure I'd want to do this. One of the reasons I'm not a salesperson. Slept in their car, didn't go home because they didn't make a sale. And that was their way of telling their self, their body, you're going to go make a sale or you're going to suffer. All right. I think that's pretty brutal, don't you? So one of the reasons I like KPIs is because we have real control over it. And it was kind of funny because when I bought TexInspect, when I actually took over the marketing for TexInspect, even before I bought it, I was visiting 10 offices per week, the same 10 offices, and dropping off chocolate bowls and dropping off flyers and dropping off brochures and everything. And as we got busier and I got busier, I hired a person to do that one day a week. All he had to do was those 10 offices. It's kind of funny because you get a little complacent about the whole process. And I walked in and out of the offices, and he said, I thought we were supposed to schedule presentations. And I went, yes, the whole idea is to schedule presentations. And I have to tell you, I was a little nervous. And so I walked into the next office and I dropped off the chocolates. I dropped off the flyer. And I said, hey, can I say hi to Joanne, who was the office manager? And I saw that she was sitting in her office. And hey, Joanne, I just wanted to let you know we have a new presentation. It's called 10 Ways to get 10 more referrals per week guaranteed. Wanted to see if you think your office would be interested in having me come out and teach that. She went, oh, yeah. And I said, great. When would you like us to schedule that? And she went, hang on. She opened up her book and she scheduled it. Okay. And we walked down and I went, huh, well, there's one. And the guy that I was training went, wow, okay, that actually was pretty easy. So we went to the second office, did exactly the same thing, scheduled another inspection. Went into the third office, did exactly the same thing, and scheduled a third presentation, not inspection, third presentation. And what I turned around and said to him, kind of smugly, kind of like wiping the sweat off my brow because I had succeeded. And that's part of, we're all a little bit scared. And so that's one of the reasons we don't do things is because we're afraid we won't succeed. But I succeeded on all three of these. And I said, see, that's how easy it is to schedule presentations. And so as you take over this route, I want you to be able to schedule presentations. And then I have other presentations that you can brag about and see that we can do for them as well. And sure enough, he scheduled 8 out of those 10 offices over the next month and a half or something. And it was wonderful. And I went in and did the presentation back then to do that. One of the other KPIs that we have is how much of the lunches can we get co-sponsored by other people? And this is a big secret. Marketing is expensive. And people a lot of times tell me I can't afford marketing. And I said, well, why don't we see if we can get somebody else to help pay for it? And they're like, what? Okay, you could do that? And I said, yeah, watch this. And I showed them how you can get a title company or a mortgage company or a roofing company or an insurance company or somebody that's probably already being in that office. And I said, you see how this company over here has brochures out and this company has brochures out? So we're obviously allowing the office and people think they're okay. And when I schedule it, I go, by the way, would it be all right if, I let so-and-so come in with me on the presentation just to say hi? And they went, yeah, sure. Because, they already know them. They already like them in the office. And what they don't know is I've already talked to that guy and go, hey, if I can help schedule you a couple minutes at presentations, would you, when I go do this presentation, and by the way, during the presentation, probably mention you once or twice as well, would you be willing to pay for the lunch? And they went, yeah, okay. So if you can get that done, just a third of the time, you just lower what you're paying for lunches. And I cannot tell you the number of times my wife has said, we pay a lot of money for food, for lunches, for presentations. How do we reduce that? And so this is one of those things that I worked on reducing. So these are some of the lead KPIs. This is not all of them, but this is some of the lead KPIs that help us be able to measure some of the lag KPIs. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of big secrets here on the lag KPIs. Most people want to measure how many inspections we schedule. Well, that's great. And yes, of course we want to measure that. But for your lag in your marketing, I'm going to tell you one that I have been telling people for years. I heard one guy get on stage and say, I'm going to tell you something nobody's ever told you. And then he told them what I've been telling them for, the last 5 years. And that one of your best KPIs that you want to measure is how many new agents are using your inspection business or your service during the time period. And I literally measured, especially after presentations, how many inspections we did for like the 6 weeks or 8 weeks before the presentation and the 6 or 8 weeks after the presentation. And then after we did a presentation, we always saw a bump. We always saw a bump in the number of inspections that we had out there and everything. In fact, I had one guy that I was working with on a national company, and he was measuring these for us and everything. And I started out with the Big Bang Marketing. I started out with it with only one brand. I started out with Coldwell Banker. I hit like 30 of their offices. I think they had 30 offices here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And what we saw with just the Big Bang Marketing and the presentations in those offices, we saw a 30% growth within 6 months of those offices. And that's when I went, well, howdy there. Okay, so if that works for a Coldwell Banker because of what I did, can I expand that? And I literally took the Big Bang Marketing to 60 offices and doubled it up, and our business just took off and grew. And one of the things, of course, we measured was how many new agents, or mavens, as I like to call them, people that can refer business to us over and over and over again. How many of those do we have from that and everything? So that's one of the lag KPIs, one of the most important ones. So that you know that you're actually measuring the success of that. I have several more of these on the sheets here and everything. We're going to be talking about these specifically. I put it on the calendar today to make sure I add it to the presentations at Mission 25. So go out to homeinspectormission.com, homeinspectormission.com. Get signed up. March 10th, 11th, and 12th. Come join us and let us help you be successful. By the way, we have another webinar coming up next Wednesday night. And so you can go out to coachblueprint.com/winter. And we're going to teach you what we call winter marketing as well. And so you've got that out there for you as well. Look, I just want to tell you, people tell me that there are no secrets, that it's so straightforward and it's so easy. And honestly, I wish that were true, because I have paid literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars figuring all of this out. And I'm going to hand it to you for just a small fraction. I mean, to attend the seminar and everything, it's going to be so inexpensive. To get the Big Bang Marketing, it's going to be so inexpensive. I do have to pay a few people and different things, and so we've got to cover cost. And I'm going to tell you something else. I learned that giving it away for free, people don't pay attention to it. So I got to make sure you got a little skin in the game, a little bit of skin in the game, so that I know that you can get there and get this done and work through it. Well, this is Mike Crow, and I just want to tell you, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for so much for being on this. And those of you that are watching the recordings of this, thank you also. And thank you for some of the great comments I've gotten out there. One of the reasons I wanted to make sure that people knew what a KPI was, a key performance indicator, was because evidently I said it without saying key performance indicator. And somebody said, hey, what is that? KPI. You know, my wife, every time I said something like that, she goes, you need to tell people what that means. She's right. Okay. She's always right. Okay. So that's why I am deeply in love with such an amazing woman. And by the way, she'll be at Mission 25 as well, because one of the number one things that we believe in is family. So you're going to see a lot of my family there. Have a great day. Be successful and be around those that are successful, because the more money you make, the more people you can help. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.